recording. I thought this was the guitar.
Hey, we've made it. Welcome to JK Games, the gaming podcast where we bring you... I can't talk. Where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe something that we don't.
Kayla, did I just mess you up? She's frozen.
Oh my gosh, she broke.
Did
that
so
was so
much.
weird.
I broke her. That was really creepy. I love that this is how we're starting this episode.
What just happened?
Some really weird...
You got stuck in like a robot pose.
You're like this.
What? I don't know what just happened. I've been having like no issues up until this point. No.
Okay. Let's try again. Welcome to JK Games, the gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
Whether it's... I have forgotten the intro
Why do
today.
you like to play on easy mode? Why do you play?
I'm still like broken from like starting the intro and then I'm not even looking at you and then I hear nothing. I'm like, and then you just I looked in the bottom and you're just like stuck. We'll just like skip that part this way. Hey, welcome to JK Games. This is a very special episode where we have invited someone back to the show.
Yeah, you're loopy.
His name's
tonight.
Josh. I am.
I've been on here,
I don't know.
what, 3-4 times, something, but it's been a while.
I think it's 5.
What?
I don't know.
I must have blacked out. Time flies when you're having fun.
We have some folks already active in the chat for Josh. You know, they're ready.
Nice.
They're excited.
We got a lot of Josh fans.
Stands, if you will.
Stands.
Oh crap! I gotta adjust the chat thing is like over your face, Kayla.
Wow, rude. Covering me up. It's okay. I'll go over it really quick.
I'll fix it.
Arkham Arrow says it's Langley boy. Katronica said she did not see the freeze, so apparently that was just for y'all.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Seems crazy.
Or maybe it was like right when we first went live. We got the gaming news we forgot about.
Oh my god, that was good. That is perfect. We have done this now. Is this the 113th episode?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
13's my lucky number, so I'm glad I'm here for it.
Wow.
Is it lucky for
it
you?
Is for
Maybe
me.
not for my brain.
Not for a lot of people.
Evening.
Yeah. Well, your birthday's on the 13th.
Yeah, exactly. Coming up.
Yeah. All right. Wow. And then we got a couple of people. We got he's got a good name, and somebody said, "Oh gosh, it's Josh."
Nice.
Wow. So we had to. I'm one of your hosts, Kayla. If you're new here, normally we're not this discombobulated. Actually, we kind of are, but it's fine. So I
was just like, last minute scrambling to get this ready to go. So I think my brain is just finally catching up with the fact that we are streaming now.
It's live TV.
We are here. We are ready to go. This is Jerica.
You got to bring the energy up. You got to get your energy back up.
Yeah.
I am excited because tomorrow I have my girlfriend's working, Audrey's working, and that means I don't have to play Destiny. Not that I don't want to play Destiny. It's just like I have a fear of missing out with Destiny right now. So if other people are playing Destiny, I can't play anything else. Peer pressure. I am finally I'm going to get back to Horizon tomorrow because I miss it terribly. Yeah. So that is bringing up my height level. So I'm awake. Let's get into some gaming news. Yeah, I'm Jerica, the other host.
And then we have a special guest, Josh, with us down here. There you go.
Yep.
Wait.
There we go.
Yeah.
Down there.
And he's been on with us a couple times. He's been around the block. He's been around the JK Games block. Yeah. Was he our first guest?
I think I was the first guest, actually.
And if this is your first time ever looking at Josh, our friend down there, one of the things that we had him on first for was the just Nintendo history and information, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Love Nintendo.
Yeah, that's my primary
Nintendo
thing,
fan.
yeah.
That's, his hoodie. He's got a Nintendo hoodie on.
Yeah, I got that with you in New York. We were in New York together.
Yeah.
In New York.
We did. And, yep.
It was
and
raining.
I'm really bummed because they made the hoodies and sweatshirts they have are amazing, but the sweatshirt we had shrunk really bad. So now it still fits, but it's almost like a crop top, especially on Audrey. So great hoodie though.
Yeah.
My thing
You're not
just
supposed to
freaked
have
out.
dead silence.
Sorry, no, my thing just freaked out for a second. I was like, wait, is everything else paused?
Oh, no.
They're attacking us. Okay. But today we have some really cool stuff to talk about, and I'm excited to hear Josh's take. We're going to talk about Elden Ring today, the craze of Elden Ring, the mysterious craze, because I need more information. I played a little bit, and I want to hear Josh's take, because Josh also has an interesting take, I feel.
Yeah, and I have a few questions myself, so I'm so glad Josh is here and he's played Elden Ring, because between everything else that's come out in the last 3 weeks, I have not been able to get with Elden Ring yet.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to. But I want to also know, I have a few questions before I spend $60 on this game.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into that, though, we'll just go ahead and do our loadout really quick. Just some housekeeping, if you will. If you are new here and you're watching us live, thank you for joining us on Twitch. We are so glad to have you. Feel free to sound off in the chat like you guys already are. We love to get feedback from you guys and just talk there. If you're listening after the fact, we do live shows now on Twitch, and our Twitch is JFK Games Podcast. That's where you can find us on everything, on Instagram, Twitter. You can always follow us over there and see like when we're going live. We don't have any schedule really. We're trying to get, we both have lives. We both have full-time jobs. So it's not always going to be the same. We're trying to get like around the same time of the week, but we'll always notify you on Instagram or Twitter if you follow us there. And then we also are uploading, if you're more interested in visuals, so like seeing our faces and stuff like that, why wouldn't you want to? Come on, look at us. Josh. You can actually go over to YouTube because we upload our live shows after the fact on YouTube. Typically, that will come out like next day or the day after, just depending. But yeah, so that's kind of just our little housekeeping. Of course, you can always email us, jkgamespodcast@gmail.com, for any feedback or episode suggestions, yada yada. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump into what we've been playing. We can let our guests go first, which he's mainly been playing what we're going to talk about in our main topic.
Oh
my gosh.
There she goes again.
Yep. Turned into a robot. Yeah. Well, yes, I've been playing some Elden Ring, which we'll get to. I think the interesting thing, which you haven't revealed yet, which is what make this conversation. When you asked me to come on here and talk about Elden Ring, I was like, wait, why? Because I'm kind of known for not really liking, the creator of Elden Ring, From Software. They make Dark Souls. I'm kind of known for not really liking those games, but I've been kind of addicted to Elden Ring lately. So I think it will be an interesting conversation. So I've been playing that. Before that, and I feel like I say this every time I'm on here, I was trying to catch up on Final Fantasy 14. They just had their expansion come out in December, and I was kind of like right before it came out. I was actually trying to play tons because I was behind then too, like in the fall, and everyone's busy in the fall. And I was getting close, but I didn't quite make it. And then when it launched, there was so much demand that they had to stop selling the game because too many people were buying it. They had to stop selling it, and so I couldn't play because every time I tried to play, it was like the server was full. It wasn't down; it was just full of people. You needed to wait, in the server queue for like however long, hours or whatever. And so I just basically said forget it and kind of put it down for the side. But then I started playing it, and I wasn't interested in Elden Ring at all, honestly. And so I anticipated that I would have been starting the new expansion by now. But yeah, I got a little sidetracked.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes in the gaming world.
I did try a little bit of, as you said, a lot of games have come out. I did try a little bit of Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster right before Elden Ring, which is, a remake of the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy game, one of the best. And what's really cool about it is obviously they added like widescreen support and it's still just pixel art, but it's all nice and high def. But they really kind of remastered the soundtrack, and I've been really impressed by that. So I'm actually really looking forward to kind of getting back into that whenever I'm done playing Elden Ring or whatever.
Nice. Jerica, you want to go next? What you been playing?
I'm just getting ready for the raid in Destiny this weekend. The new raid comes out on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So I've just been playing Destiny and trying to get my light level up high enough so we can at least maybe clear one boss. That would be nice. You know, this is really exciting because I've never been on the Destiny hype train right when a raid goes live, like a brand new raid. So usually I've dropped off and I get to the newest expansion eventually, just not like I have been playing Destiny nonstop for over a year. So Bungie is doing something right to keep me that engaged. So regardless, I am excited to like me and a few others are going to try to get in there and see what happens. We know nothing about the raid really. If anything else is dropped, I don't know about it. And I really don't know what it's like to just for day one raids, like what that looks like, because like I said, I'd never been here day one when a raid comes out.
You can get that world first.
Well,
world
you know,
first.
we'll try. We're definitely we won't be able to get started on Friday unless we do it late, unfortunately, but Saturday night's when we're going to try. But it'd be nice just to go in completely blind, because normally we watch videos and like prepare ourselves so we're not like wasting time, but there's not going to be that much content out. I say that someone's going to upload a video pretty quickly probably on how to get through it, but I don't know. It's exciting. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what the raid is. I don't know how it ties into the story. So that's probably what I'm most excited for, because this expansion in Destiny has been one of the most interesting ones in terms of story. Like, I got so invested in the Witch Queen herself, Savathun, and like her backstory, because they did a lot of exploring with that, and sort of like you get to sort of go back to the previous seasons of Destiny to see like how they were gonna, you know, pull in Savathun's like plan and like background story. Like, it's been planned from a very long time ago, her sort of story arc.
Interesting. I played I played some Destiny with you. I don't really remember too much about some of the lore is confusing. You know,
it's very
good,
confusing.
but you gotta dig in deep. You gotta read, you know, websites,
read some stuff,
watch some YouTube videos. It's pretty interesting. It's just in the game, it's kind of presented strangely,
but not as much anymore. And that's been a really cool change, because they've put a lot of effort in. I don't know if they're expanding their narrative team or like they're involving that. They're making that part of the experience like more. You don't have to read as much now, and they're giving you some more and more juicy details about the world. Like, I have never been invested in a Destiny story yet. Like, this is I literally watched a 2-hour long video on like Savathun and her siblings.
Oh my gosh.
And how they came to be, because there's this there, you know, without spoiling it, that there's an end scene to the expansion that's pretty freaking mind-blowing. That's like, it's a scene that I don't want to compare it to anything because I don't want to spoil it, but I know what I'll tell you guys after the show, like what it's compared to. But it was pretty exciting.
So
like, I can't wait to see where it goes. You
finished like the main storyline DLC, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and there's a cutscene at the very end, and I was just like, oh, what? Oh my god, they did it. They showed us something, which is really cool. So
awesome.
Anywho, yep, I'm getting ready for the raid. Destiny Witch Queen expansion's incredible. Finally beat the campaign.
What light level you got to be for the raid?
I think just like 1520 or 1530.
Oh my gosh, it's so high now. I think when I've last played it was like 800 or something.
Yeah, I know. Dude, that's literally
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, you're ready. You're raid ready.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much ready. Now it's just me like because like on top of like a new expansion, not only are you trying to get your light level up, you like I am not using any of my old gear now. Like I'm using brand new guns. Yeah. So like my whole go-to like loadout for different raids. I don't have that. So I'm trying to like preemptively with all the new mods, like trying to figure out like what are they going to be using in this raid and like preemptively trying to get set up. So we'll see. It's really, I can't wait next week to talk about it, how it goes.
Nice. I can't wait to hear about it. Would you stream it maybe, or you think it'll be grinding too much to?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to stream it because like
it's a stressful environment.
It is. It really is. I'm nervous to how like I said, I hope we can clear one boss would be.
Yeah.
I hope we can do that.
I would just love to be all fly on the wall, though, as someone who doesn't play Destiny. I just don't know what it's like, you know?
Just stream it to Kayla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me watch it.
I could definitely like, I'll figure out something. If we don't stream it this time, we'll stream it the next time. I want us to look like we know what we're doing
That's
somewhat.
fair.
So.
That's understandable. As far as me, Jerica, was that all for you?
Yep.
Okay,
That's
cool.
it. Just playing Destiny.
I kind of haven't really been doing much different either. Thanks to everyone who has watched me do my honestly kind of tragic solo streams. I was actually really happy with the conversation we did get to have on those. But I'm practicing kind of like streaming by myself, which I didn't realize was like as like not difficult, but like I feel you have to be so much more engaged when it's just you.
Yeah, it's definitely different because you got to remember.
And
you're like entertaining people, sort of.
yeah.
So it's like it is a strange experience.
Well, I feel like you don't have to be okay. I feel like there's like a level of compensation. So like if you're super good at the game, you don't have to be like
you
as
can like not talk at all. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not like I feel like if I was playing, because I've been mainly streaming Apex because it's like what I know, and so like, and I know a lot of people like watching Apex, and I'm trying to get used to more like keyboard and mouse playing, which I am not used to at all because I'm new to PC. So that's been fun. But I do appreciate those who are I feel like it'll get easier for me as I keep doing it because I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. So thank you guys for watching me on that. It's so much different having like Jerica to bounce off of and stuff versus like me just being by myself.
So I don't stream solo that much because I don't have a lot of fun with it because when I play a game, I don't like talking. I like to just play the game.
Yeah.
So like if someone's chatting, like I probably won't see it. I think the last time I streamed Destiny, I just started playing and like I'm just like, so if anyone is wanting to talk, I'm not talking.
You should really give yourself a trial by fire choosing Apex for that. Yeah, I understand. And thank you, Katron. She was watching me, which is awesome. Thank you so much for being engaged. But I agree, but I feel like it's what I know the best. And so I think that's why like it's easier for me to like talk while I do that because I know it so well. Yes, late from lunch, I am streaming Apex on this channel. So anytime I do a solo stream, it's going to be on JK Games. It should notify you if you're...
Yeah, you got to subscribe, ring the bell, get all that. Yeah, turn the notifications on.
Come on.
You should be getting on your phone.
Yeah,
smash that bell, y'all. Oh, that's YouTube, I think.
That's what they
that's
say,
YouTube,
right? Smash the like button. Yes, it's on this channel, and it's kind of sporadic right now because I'm just testing things out. I still have some technical things that I need to work on. Yeah, so still new, still working on it. But if you get the notification, just come on in. I'll also every once in a while. Oh, he said my notifications aren't working. I'll try to catch the next one. I also try to post it on Instagram as well if you follow us there. But yeah, what am I playing? I played some more Horizon. I love it. It's fantastic. I do wish I could be playing more of it, as Jerica was saying earlier. Because it's...
I went back and forth with that because I really enjoyed the first one a ton.
Yeah.
I really loved it. And actually, I don't have a PS5 yet because I was waiting until Final Fantasy 16 came out to get one.
Yeah.
Which now I probably need to start looking soon just because it's hard to get still. Who knew?
Yeah.
And but then Horizon was coming out, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I want to go in for Horizon. But then I saw like some of the comparison videos, and Digital Foundry did a really good video, and I was like, wow, it looks even on PS4, it looks really good actually.
Yeah,
it looks incredible.
It's beautiful.
But I decided I think there's enough out. I'm gonna personally just wait until probably get a PS5, and even like just for the controller haptics, feel it rumbling.
Yeah. Which is really good in this one, actually. The DualSense is pretty awesome.
Yeah. But I'm excited to try it eventually.
Yeah. Me and Jerica did like a little first impression on our last episode. It's like a spoiler free if you want to kind of hear like our like brief like couple hours in thoughts. We did that.
Josh,
last week.
It has definitely taken the spot of the #1 best looking game I've ever played.
Yeah, I could see that
in terms
easily.
of like even the characters' faces look awesome, and even the motion capture is really good. It's not like Last of Us Part 2 like top tier motion capture, but it's definitely a huge improvement from the first game.
Even the first one,
it
looked really good.
It still holds up.
2017 PS4 game. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how much me and Kayla talked about this. Like, it's wild, like, how much you always think, like, nothing's going to top this, and it always gets topped. I'm like, how does the littlest details, like lighting and, like, particles, like, make a crazier experience? Like, when it almost looks like you're there. Like, it looks so good. Now, the jumping, I'll say that, Josh, her mechanics and her the jumping, I am not a fan of. It feels weird.
She
it
can
doesn't
jump
feel
in
like
the first
that's
one,
evolved.
can't she? Oh, it's like the same thing, though.
You can. That's the only. That was my only gripe with the game. But other than that, they have evolved a few things, and if anything, it's just the more what you love of about Horizon, but you know, some added bonuses.
How far are you, Kayla?
And insane.
Probably about 6 hours, I think.
Okay, that's pretty good. You know, like the little beginning.
Yeah. I'm really invested. I really like the story. I like the mechanics. It's just, I could literally stare at it all day. Like, it's just really cool. But yeah, so I definitely need to play more of it. I think it's about 35 hours. Is that right? Does that sound right?
It's about 30 to 40. Like, if just do the main story stuff.
And Jerica talked about this last week. She had played a little bit more than me when we talked last week. I want to do the side quests, which is not normal for me. I normally am not a
all the side quests are good.
Yeah, I'm not normally a completionist, but here's the thing. I feel like with quick soapbox, really quick. I feel like side quests in a lot of games aren't really like super relevant. Not that like it feels like, okay, actually, can you go get this jug out of the forest while you're there? And like it doesn't really like, you know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes it doesn't really flow super well. It feels like which it's a side quest. Like that makes sense, but I feel like the side quests in this game like flow pretty well with the actual main story. So sometimes I don't even know it's a side quest.
They're interesting. Like you want to go do it. Like, I want to go do this. Like it's not just like
feels
a fetch
like it's
quest
just like part of the story, right? They did pretty good with that in the first one too. So.
Yeah, and Katronica actually just said in the chat, I've heard the side quests are better in this one than the first one.
For sure.
I did skip a lot of them, especially towards the end, because I was just like, I just want to do the like, main stuff. But
that's usually how I am, but yeah, that's really all I've been playing. I've been playing some more Apex, like I said. I have a lot that I want to get to on my PC that I've downloaded but haven't started yet. Quick, not spoiler, but like quick little interlude to what's going to be coming is I actually downloaded Mass Effect for the first time ever.
Ooh, let's go!
Finally!
Yeah. So that's something that was really fun that me and Jerica did is I played through Resident Evil Village, and she was like watching me play through it, and it was really fun to like.
It's fun.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that with Mass Effect because Jerica's a big Mass Effect fan. If you know her, so we're gonna stream together, me going through it for the first time,
I think
like me
be
creating
fun.
my character. Yeah, and so she's gonna be
like
a. Thanks. Yep. She's gonna be like the master teaching the Padawan. The ways. So yeah, we'll definitely do some live streams of that, and then we'll record it and put it up on our YouTube because that's what we did with Resident Evil. It was really fun. Watching me get scared to death. Those are still up if you want to watch them.
Like a let's play.
So yeah, that's really all I've been doing. Definitely want to try some new things going forward. I feel like I have so much I've downloaded and haven't touched it yet, which is kind of just, the life. But let's go ahead and move on to news if you guys are cool with that. We don't have a ton to touch on this week, but I feel like some of the things we have to touch on we could talk about for a while. Do we want to start with I know nothing about this. Josh was telling us about this earlier, but Epic Games has bought Bandcamp. Josh, do you want to tell us a little about that?
I didn't read too much about the actual press release as far as like what the strategy on it was, but that kind of just happened. Bandcamp, as you know, it's kind of like, well, you compared it to like sort of like SoundCloud, I guess, but it's like a lot of indie artists and sometimes even a lot of video game composers will put their the soundtracks on there. Sometimes it's free even, but a lot of times it'll be like pay $1, pay what you want, pay $5 or whatever. And so it's just kind of interesting for Epic. It's kind of it's one of those news stories that popped up and was like, because, they tend to stay kind of within a certain kind of wheelhouse as far as video game engines, video game publishing. So it's interesting that you'd buy kind of a digital music storefront,
I wonder if
fairly
their plan
popular
is
one.
kind of to use that in their games and kind of have like a, like
It
a
seems like that'd be
direct
complicated
audio
though, just because
royalties and
there's still
stuff.
licensing. Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know. It'll be interesting to see kind of what happens from that. Usually, when things get acquired, you hope for the best, but a lot of times they don't really end up the best, right? The things usually end up shutting down or changing enough where you lose all your users.
I feel like there's normally like a reason behind it too, right?
Oh,
Would
I'm
you
sure
say?
I'm sure there's some
Like a
reason that
point.
we don't really fully know.
There is an article if you're curious to read it on Bandcamp's website. It's like blog.bandcamp.com if you guys are interested. But I just thought that was interesting and I wanted some explanation because I was like, I don't know who this is, honestly. Gonna be straight. Okay, and then we were also talking about, I don't remember the exact date, but another news piece is we got Stream Deck has launched.
Steam Deck. I was like, wait, Stream Deck?
Stream Deck.
Steam Deck?
Which is
I think
easy
Stream
to
Deck
make
is a
that.
thing, too.
I think I say
Steam
the wrong thing every time because they are very similar.
Steam Deck is, it's made by Valve, who makes Steam, and they make Half-Life and all that stuff, but it's like a Nintendo Switch, but it's like a PC, basically. So you can play your Steam library, on the go, like a Switch.
Yeah,
it's like this day and age Game Gear.
I remember you making that comparison. We were talking.
Well, it
about
is like that
when
because
it
the battery
announced.
life I think is only like 3 hours, so you're just about right on that. I liked. We were talking about this too. How because Valve is based out of Bellevue, Washington, and within that kind of Bellevue, Seattle type area. The CEO of Valve, Gabe Newell, was like hand delivering them, and they released like a little promo video because they have like a little mini camera crew with them, and it's just kind of weird.
It is weird.
It's sort of awkward because you ordered this, and then all of a sudden like the CEO shows up, and he's like, here's your thing,"
Hey,
and he's signing them, so that's cool too.
I would be like, "Who are you?"
I love how he's just like, just let me know what you think about it, what you like about it.
That's cute.
I was talking to someone else. I think it was late from lunch here, because I have the Valve Index, which is their VR system, and for a while it was odd because they're now making the Steam Deck and they're making VR headsets, and they've made a few other hardware things here and there, like they had a controller they made, but for the most part they just stick to software, and so they don't really have like a huge pipeline for hardware, especially considering how many users Steam has. And so for a while, when it first came out, people on the Valve Index subreddit, maybe like a wire would break or, it would twist, and so it would stop working, or they needed like a little replacement piece. And so everyone was talking about like, how do I get a replacement wire? It's not on their website or anything. And that same guy, Gabe Newell, the CEO, he responded in the Reddit. He was like, just send me an email directly and I'll get you taken care of. And so people were like sending him an email saying like their wire was broken, and then he was like getting them a replacement. Just so odd, It'd be like emailing, whoever you want to think of, like a CEO of, Nintendo or something, very strange.
Mm-hmm. So Jerica, didn't you pre-order this as well? Did you?
I don't know what I did, to be honest. Like, I think I got on a wait list or something.
Okay.
I put $5 down for something, but I did it like super late.
You don't
so
even
I don't
know
even
what
know
you
if
did.
that's still. Shoot, I don't know. Like, are they going to charge me at some point? Like, are they going to send me something? I don't know. I paid $5 for something.
Is the demand? So, have you guys seen? Is the demand pretty high? Like, are you able to get your hands on these right now?
No, you can't get it unless it's a huge wait list. The demand's very high.
Okay.
So I think I'm on a wait list, but it might be like next year until I get one.
It looks really nice. Like, honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, there's no other way really that you can like carry around your Steam library.
Yeah, as far
like
as
that.
the functionality, it seems pretty well designed. The build quality looks good. There's different models. It's a little bit pricey, but it's like buying any kind of. It's like a computer,
console.
so.
I mean, it's like console, yeah.
It's closer to a computer, but yeah.
How much was it exactly?
Oh, I don't, off the top of my head, there's different models. Let's see. Fact check. Don't want to get it wrong. $399 for the 64 gig, $529 for the 256 and 649 for the 512.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Not too bad for what it is. Like a mid-range PC that you can take around with you.
I was looking up articles, trying to find like some reviews on this, and I found this one, which is interesting. Jericho, you'll probably think this is interesting. Bungie will ban Destiny 2 players trying to bypass Steam Deck incompatibility.
Yeah, I did come across that too. I saw that.
Interesting.
Any system, this is from PC Gamer, article by Jacob Bridley. Any system using Steam Play's, I keep wanting to say Stream Play, oh my gosh, Proton compatibility layer is incompatible with Destiny 2, Bungie says. Destiny 2 is not supported on the Steam Deck. Dang it!
Oh my
Steam
gosh.
It's okay. Just call it that. It's fine.
Steam
people
Deck.
know what we're talking about. Yeah.
And anyone trying to bypass the rules will be met with a swift game ban, developer Bungie has said.
Whoa.
Just a quick explanation for you as far as what Proton is. Because this is like a little gaming PC, Proton is sort of like a virtual, it's sort of like a layer because it actually is sort of like a Linux-based machine. And so it's sort of like a conversion to play Windows games on Linux, essentially. And so that's why you have to see like if your game is compatible. A lot of things on Steam are. Some aren't quite compatible because it's kind of running through like a Linux emulator sort of thing. And so I could see, I don't know, I didn't read like into the Destiny thing too much, but I imagine it has to do with like potential like anti-cheating kind of stuff, you know,
Yeah,
with like
for
online
sure.
games.
It has to be, for them to be reacting this way. I feel like it
Not to
probably has
mention
something
it's
to do
an
with that.
additional like support channel they would have to figure out like a pipeline, but
I do
who
have
knows?
one more question. If one of you know, like, how does it work with like supporting like online play and like chat? I guess there isn't really a built-in chat because Steam doesn't have that, right? Like you have to use a separate kind of avenue.
I haven't looked into it since I don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's a good
I know
point.
people,
Probably, you know,
people
you-
can install like custom software on it too already, like, you know, running like emulators to run like N64 games or Super Nintendo games. So I'm sure you can just kind
There's
of,
probably a chat option.
if you know
yeah.
what you're doing, I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yeah, I was just curious because I'm not going to be able to get it anytime soon due to what you're saying about like demand and stuff. It is expensive, but I'm interested. It sounds cool. All right. Well, really, the last piece of news we have is Pokemon news, which was kind of surprising, or was this kind of known beforehand and I just didn't realize
I
it?
think like right before it's sort of semi-leaked, but for most people, even me, I wasn't really following it too much. It was kind of a surprise, I guess.
Yeah,
Especially
So
the release
Pokemon-
date, I would say.
Yeah, it's pretty soon, right?
It's kind
Pokemon
of like later
announces
this year.
New video games, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Which is, I will find the date. Oh, it just says late 2022.
Yeah, it'll probably be like,
Yeah.
you know, November or something.
But I think the thing that I feel like I've seen the most is the new starter Pokemon. Are super cute. Jerica, have you seen at least the pictures of them? I know you said you didn't get a chance to look at the video, but have you seen the
I
pictures?
always will know the starter
You're always
3,
gonna look
like,
that up.
and like, and I'm like, which one am I gonna go with? So, of course, we have to talk about which one we like the most.
Well, I think that first of all, I like this you know, each Pokemon is based on like a certain region. You know, you have like the Alola region is like Hawaii, and you have the last one, Sword and Shield, is kind of like the UK. This one's kind of allegedly sort of like Spain. And the day of the announcement, we were talking to one of our friends who speak Spanish, and they're explaining that the names are kind of even puns, you know, like on Spanish.
Oh, cool!
Because
Yeah.
the fire starter is like a little fire crocodile thing. His name's
Spirit
Fuecoco. And I guess, you know, like fuego, you know, fue is like whatever. I don't speak Spanish. But and then the little grass type is a little cat. It's like Sprigatito or something. And I guess Gatito is a little cat. And then Sprig, it's a clever pun, you know.
Cute.
And then, but then the duck is just called Quaxley, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
He has like his hand on his hip. His little wing is like on his hip. He's a real sassy little duck.
I've seen people say he looks like Donald Trump, and I can't.
Because his
get it out
hair
of my
kind of
head.
has like that little whatever.
tuft.
I think the duck is like definitely the standout, like sassy water duck named Quaxley is kind of like definitely very standout to me.
I wonder what their final evolutions
Yeah, that's
are
the
going to
thing. You
look
never,
like. That's
they
what I'm always
look
looking to
really
see.
awkward sometimes. You know, I like Score Bunny in the last one, but the final evolutions look real dumb.
I get mad when your starter is maybe like the cat, for instance. Like I don't like when they go from 4, they're on 4 legs or vice versa. And I don't like that.
Right.
I just like them. I like them to stay however.
You want them more to be like an animal, less like a furry. You know, like more just like an animal.
I don't like when they start standing up and walking around. Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
And then they got thumbs. Yeah. And they're picking up my stuff. You know,
like, I agree with that.
Quit doing that.
Put it down.
Put it down. I think I'm gonna have to go with the little gator. I think I like the fire gator, the Fue Coco.
Fue Coco.
I love grass type starters, and I also really like cats. And so I think that his design's kind of plain. I kind of like the other 2 designs more, but I'm going to have faith that it's going to have cool evolutions.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, y'all got our starters. Or wait, Jerica, you didn't say. Who are you going to pick?
I'm going with, is it Fue Coco, the gator apple thing? It looks like an apple, so I'm really concerned.
It might turn into like a big apple.
That's what I'm mad about. I don't want it to do that. I want it to get into like a Charizard looking thing. Okay. I want it to be like a lizard of some sort. And I just, I don't need Pokemon to be certain objects anymore. I hate that. Like, I guess it is hard. I can't be. That's it's when they start looking like chandeliers and like lollipops and like other things. I don't like that.
Yeah. Our friend of the show.
There's something wrong with my taste.
Friend of the show.
I don't know. Trash can. There's a trash can. I feel like there is a trash can Pokemon.
A trash bag. He's a trash bag, I think.
Bag.
Sorry. I was gonna say our friend of the show, Cody, his favorite Pokemon is a Pineco.
Oh my gosh.
Did you not know that?
No. I don't like that.
I was interested because I did read a little bit about them saying that the new Pokemon is going to be open world adventure. So I thought that was cool. I didn't watch the trailer.
I'll say already, even though they just made Arceus, however you say it, I will say it already looks better. Okay. As far as graphically, and I don't know about they didn't really show gameplay. I just mean the overall graphics. Look a little better.
In the chat, really quick, we have Katronica said, I heard new Stardew Pokemon, and I was down for that crossover. And I could see that. And then we have Oh Hey Jabu, I'm late to the party. So Elden Ring, graphics are beautiful. I like being able to roam freely around the map. Still just an updated Dark Souls, in my opinion.
Well, you didn't miss that discussion yet.
I was going to say, we actually haven't gotten to that yet. We're literally about to move into it, and Josh is going to give us the down low on his conversion, if you will, the redemption arc.
Yeah, redemption.
So we're actually just now getting into that. So perfect timing, honestly. So that's really all for news. The game looks really cute. We were just talking about Pokemon if you're just jumping in, the new Pokemon news. So
please, the gator Fue Coco, please don't turn into a big apple. Please. Don't turn into an apple.
Don't apologize. We're you didn't jump the shark. You made a segue for us right into.
Yeah, it's perfect. We need to quit talking about Pokemon anyway, so
could do that for a while, because they're so cute. But let's get into our expert mode, baby. This is where we're just gonna listen to Josh talk for about 30 more minutes.
Why do you call this expert mode? Because I'm like basically like the opposite of an expert on this particular topic, which might make this interesting.
I have some questions. Yeah. I have questions for you, Josh.
Yeah, don't let me ramble too much. Sometimes I get these rants on here. Let's
set up the stage because this is not just any Elden Ring conversation, okay?
Yeah.
These are all these 3 people you're looking at right now. I'm gonna be honest, like most of the time, I tried, Bloodborne. Is it Bloodborne? That's the one everyone's
one of them.
Always talking about.
Bloodborne, Sekiro, at Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. Those are like the main ones.
There we go.
Demon Souls.
I tried Bloodborne. I think it's just for me a little dated. I don't know if it was my cup of tea. I just couldn't get into it. So I put that down. But then, of course, with my PS5, I had to try the Demon Souls remake because it just looked gorgeous. And I was like, I gotta try it. I see people playing it. Got into that, started liking it. I got my butt kicked a lot and had to restart a whole lot, but I actually really got into the grind of it, and like just the feeling that you got when you finally got through a tougher boss, or not. I didn't even get to a boss. When you got to like a tougher enemy in this case, was really rewarding when you finally did it, and you're like, well, I could do that, which is awesome. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to play Elden Ring, because that's the only two games I've been exposed to that play like that, or that type of game. So I'm just a little nervous it might be too hard for me. So I don't know about what you think, Kayla.
So yeah, I actually have a tiny bit to talk about here before we get into Josh's. I actually did get to play some. I have never played any of these games. Like, is this just called like the Dark Souls universe, or are you talking like specifically from Software
technically
games?
Elden Ring is a standalone game.
Okay.
That's a From Software game. That's the company.
Yeah.
But it's it's Dark Souls, basically.
Yeah. So I've never played anything from this company at all, actually. So I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of knew I actually played on my brother-in-law's computer, and he kind of gave me like a debrief, kind of like, because I jumped into the middle of the game, which from what I understand isn't necessarily like it's fine. I just didn't get the backstory and things like that. I don't remember exactly where he put me. He said he was trying to set me up for success as much as he could. But I played probably about an hour and a half of it, just kind of like roaming around, just trial and error to seeing what all was going on. I died like instantly when I walked into this battle, because what I've learned and from talking to you is like, if you walk upon like this fight or this enemy or this boss and you're not ready, you can just like leave and go on to the next thing, which is cool until you don't know that like you can't handle this. So I had an okay time. It just doesn't seem like something that it just doesn't seem like it's really for me, which is fine. Like, not all games are for everyone, and I can still like appreciate that it's like cool game. I love like the conversations I've been having about it and like people being passionate about it. I think that's awesome. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be something that I dive into. It's a lot of game, which I normally don't go for. So that's kind of my brief experience. I liked it. It was fine. I feel like if I had a little bit more time with it, then I probably would like it more. But I just don't know if I had that time to commit to that. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. So,
well,
Josh.
I'll try to organize my thoughts a little so it's not too ranty. Yeah, so the background is... The whole reason how I ended up here is that I'm actually within our friend group, and some of you watched a stream where we did like our picks of like fantasy game picks. So kind of within this group, I'm kind of known as actually like the From Software, troll, I guess. I intentionally like causing a stink about From Soft games because don't at me, but I think they're overrated mostly. I'll be honest. I think it's overrated. They're overrated all the time. Because, and let me try to explain as best I can. Well, people get upset when I say this kind of thing. But if you've played like throughout their history, first of all, From Software is honestly mostly, well, now they're known for like Dark Souls and stuff. But they're mostly like they made these mech games, a lot of Armored Core, right? There's a bunch of these games. They made these Armored Core games, and then there was Demon Souls on the PlayStation 1. And to be honest, if you play any of those games, you play Demon Souls, the original one, you play these mech games, if you were to just play these with no context, even like when they came out, I'm not even talking about like, do they hold up now? They're not that good. They're like a low budget B tier janky games. Okay. This you got to hang in for this ride. This is what we call the redemption arc. Don't worry.
Yes. Don't worry. Stick to the end.
These are. I just didn't have a lot of respect for them because, I can respect that they like a certain genre, mech games or whatever, and people, in niche genres. I think this is the thing: is they have these fans that enjoy these niche genres, and there's not really that many other mech games, like especially in the West. In Japan, there's a few other options. And so it's like you have these like people who are like really into mech games. And these people are kind of like, people who are really into like model trains, And so They're just taking whatever they can get. And so they think that, From Software, this is great. These mech games, they're not that good. Go ahead and pick any Armored Core, play it, and you're going to be like, this is like a 30 out of 100, Controls clunky, responsiveness not that good, a lot of glitches. This is both my personal opinion and a little bit of fact sprinkled in. So anyway, the last few years, anytime anyone mentions Dark Souls, I'm kind of making jokes. Most of the time I'm just trolling, but with a little bit of my own personal truth in there. But most of the time, it's all in good fun.
Speak your truth.
I'm trolling.
Speak your truth.
I did play a little bit of Dark Souls 1, just a little, not that much, just intro a little bit. I played some Dark Souls 3. I didn't play 2. Played a little bit. I'm just talking about like you did, just maybe 2 hours or something, a little bit. Just to see the hype. So we fast forward to, now they're becoming really popular. They make Dark Souls. Dark Souls is where I start to have even bigger problem with them because someone in the chat said, "Don't you like Sonic Adventure?" And okay, this is my point. Sonic Adventure, right? Imagine Sonic Adventure. Think about the things that you could, not even opinion, that you could say are bad about Sonic Adventure, right? The number one thing maybe being the camera, right? One of the worst cameras in a 3D platformer. Now imagine if they decided because a few fans mistakenly thought that camera was good, that they're going to make that a core feature of every Sonic game that they make from now on, and that people will start praising that camera, saying "Oh, you just think the camera's bad because you don't know how to control it. Oh, you just think the camera's bad because you're not good at video games." That's a perfect example. You had the perfect example, Sonic Adventure, because that's exactly how I feel like a lot of things with FromSoft games and Dark Souls happens. Dark Souls comes out. It's got some good things going for it. We'll give it credit. It has this. It's a huge. The level design, I would say, is great, especially for at the time. You have all these shortcuts that loop back on each other, and you'll be exploring, and all of it sudden end up somewhere you were already, and it's all interconnected. I think that's brilliant. And there's some other, there's good things about it, but it just irritates me that people take some of the things that were accidents or just from software just being janky, and they turn that into something that they have to have in every game that is really good, and you don't know what you're talking about if you try to criticize these things. Whatever. Now, that's my little rant. I had to get it out somewhere, and I have a captive audience.
They're trying to roast you in the chat. You got to tell them it is.
Hey, this is part of the arc.
Yeah. It's a part of the journey.
And yes, I do like Nintendo games, and I like. And I brought this up before to people because someone said, "I like Nintendo games." A lot can be said. That's the thing. I'm a Nintendo apologist, so I see when people are apologizing for these companies, right? I know exactly what it looks like. So when people are doing this with Dark Souls, I know because I do that with Nintendo all the time. Smash Brothers Online. Oh, it's not that bad. You just need to plug it in with the Ethernet. It's not that bad. I do this kind of stuff all the time, so I know exactly what I'm seeing. Now, we fast forward, right? Elden Ring gets announced. I think. Well, was it at Game Awards when it was first announced?
Yes.
Very first time it was announced. It was just a teaser. Anyway, either way,
that sounds about right.
This thing gets announced. It's from software. I'm already starting to roll my eyes, right? Oh no, here we go again. Everyone's gonna be talking about
You're
this
probably with all of our friends
all
too.
the time. Yeah, here we go.
That guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, R.R. Martin. That show ended real well. People,
E3.
whatever.
E3.
It was E3. Well, I'm sure we were on a voice chat or something. So, Elden Ring gets announced. Whatever. They eventually show the trailer years later. I did watch the trailer. I didn't remember that much from it. I remember there was a horse that can double jump.
Was Which is
and
cool,
then, you know,
by the way.
a couple of weeks ago, we're getting close to launch. Everyone's hyped on it. I'm already getting sick of hearing about this game. I don't have any plans on playing Elden Ring.
And what was it? And you know, even Jeff Keighley was like making a deal about it, like getting locked up in what was it, Elden Ring box or whatever. And then when he got like Jeff Keighley, when he got to show off Elden Ring for the first time, I thought the world exploded.
Yeah, everyone's going. I'm just thinking like, this is so overhyped. You know, this is so stupid. This is all anyone's talking about. I have no plans on playing this. Whatever. You know, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. And then, you know, we're getting closer to the launch. And then I decide, like, you know what? You know, I'm such a contrarian with all this FromSoft. I like to make fun of it. I need to pick it up so that I can, you know, really get all my ammunition where I can see how stupid this game is. You know, like, I need to play it a little bit. I plan on picking it up, playing it, you know, 2 hours, 3 hours. So I could just be like, you know, you can't just make fun of something without knowing a little bit about what you're talking about, you know your enemy. So but I hadn't been following it. You know, all these people are following like everything the director says, every word. He's like God. It's like the Bible. He says something and they're like memorizing the scripture. They're like, oh, check Miyazaki chapter 3, you know, verse 4 or whatever, you know, whatever. Gross. So then, you know, the review embargo comes out. And it's 10 out of 10, right? Elden Ring, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Everyone's giving it a 10. This is crazy, unprecedented. You know, it's becoming top of the charts, this game. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty interesting. But this kind of irritates me more because I'm just thinking all these reviewers, they're FromSoft apologists. They, in fact, some of them even complain because they only got the review codes 1 week before. But this game is like this huge game, and they had to like crunch to get these reviews out. You know, can you even rate the game properly? It's such a big game. Can you even give this a 100 without even, you know, fully experiencing it? So I'm already thinking that's bogus too. It's got these fake reviews all over the place. Whatever. Okay, so it comes out. You know, install it. I actually played Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster because I wasn't really looking forward to playing it. You know, and here's where the redemption arc comes in because I plan on playing it for like 2 hours. Yeah, I'm like 20 something hours in already. Can't stop playing.
Wow.
Right? Can't stop playing.
Wow. What an arc. I'm
almost ashamed to say it. The thing is, but it's caused me to do a lot of self-reflection. So some of the things I just said, you know, I still feel that way to an extent about From Software and some of its fans. But now that I've played Elden Ring for somewhat significant, I guess it's not in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's a huge game, but, you know, more than just a little bit. And I kind of understand a little more. I started realizing part of what I didn't like about the Souls game in the first place was maybe not what I thought. Because the very first thing I thought when I booted this up and played like the little intro, you know, tutorial kind of area, I'm already rolling my eyes again because I'm like, they're calling it Elden Ring. This is literally just Dark Souls 4. You know, it plays the same, has the same menus, has the same system of leveling up. Everything's the same except that it's called Elden Ring. So already I'm like, okay, I'm ready. This is ammunition. You know, it's just Dark Souls 4 or whatever. I'm making notes. But then I get out of the tutorial area, and if you ever played Breath of the Wild or Skyrim, there's just something about it drops you out, and it doesn't really tell you what to do. Okay? And this is something I've complained about some of these games where, you know, they're a little bit too obtuse. But I've realized the thing I don't like about Dark Souls 1, 2, 3 or whatever isn't so much the gameplay or the mechanics or even like the difficulty or whatever. It's that they're more, I don't know if linear is quite the right word, but it's a little more closed in, right? It's like you're not that you're indoors.
I was literally thinking like box, but you're like, you feel like suffocated.
There's outdoors
like,
areas, but it's kind of all like boxed in, and it's huge areas, and you can loop in and out of each other. But when you approach things, it's like you have to defeat this area or beat this area. And of course, there's ways, like a good Japanese RPG, you can, level up if you need to, and it'll help your stats so you can have an easier time. But I think a lot of Souls game have kind of this built up this reputation of being these like ultra difficult games that are really unapproachable. I think a lot of it, and this is what's funny, I think a lot of it has to do with just some community gatekeeping, where people are trying to create this community that is exclusionary of people who want accessibility. I like when a game is very accessible, as far as like, think of a game like Celeste, where it's a hard game, but you can just pause it and change all these options to make it easier to play for you. And when this comes up with Dark Souls, or it came up big time with Sekiro, where people wanted an easy mode just for accessibility reasons. And the FromSoft community just all jumped all over that, got all nasty, telling people, you just need to get better at games. That's going to ruin the game experience, even though like you can play it in the harder mode if you want. It doesn't ruin it for you. But they just don't want people to be able to say that they experience the game because they feel like it takes away from their achievement, I guess, playing it really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like what they've done with Elden Ring, without adding difficulty options, has made it way more accessible for people, because it's, the way I put it was that it's not really even that it's that hard. It's just that it lets you go wherever you want, and you can end up in places where maybe you're not supposed to be in yet. And people who like that challenge will love challenging a level 50 boss when they're level 10 or whatever. But if you don't like to do that, you can just go to this other area. It's way more open, right? You could just go wherever you want. I'm just getting on my horse and I just go wherever I want, explore. I find cool treasure. I'm like a treasure hunter. I'm like Indiana Jones. I'm just going around the world. I'm like, oh, what's over here? What's over here? I'll give you an example. I saw this big dragon, in the swamp, huge dragon. So I go up to it and it just kills me in like one hit. I'm like, well, not going to be doing that, I guess. So I go, I'm one more time. I'm going to try this. So I go, kills me in one hit again. I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. But then that time I saw behind him, there was like a little treasure. So I was like, oh. So I go behind him, grab the treasure, just run away. Who cares? I'm not going to beat that thing. I don't care. Right? That's how I play it. A lot of people don't like to play their games like that. But I like to just do whatever I want, go in.
Yeah.
And so this has changed my viewpoint a little bit about some of, and I've started to enjoy some of the, I guess you could say, enjoy the jank, right? The game, there's some jankiness.
That's a quote. Right? That's a quote.
Enjoy the jank.
Wow.
There is some jankiness. FromSoft is janky, but there are, I guess, I don't know. They're giving you the choice to do whatever you want, and it causes problems sometimes. Like, there's some stuff that infuriates me still. Under my health bars, there's all these little icons of like buffs and debuffs, as far as like, maybe spells that have been cast on me, or maybe items that are giving me things. I have no idea what they mean. There's no explanation. It doesn't tell you anywhere. I have no idea. There's like all these things. I have no idea what is that? What is going on?
Yeah.
No idea. But it's satisfying. I start a character. I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't know. I felt like maybe the game's too hard for me, so I was going to do a mage class so I could just use magic from far away. And so I started doing that, but then I found like a cool weapon. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this now. And then I found last night I found a katana. So I'm like, well, now I'm going to be like a samurai mage. So now I have, a katana and my magic wand. I'm like shooting things, but I have a katana. You could just do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way,
Yeah, that's really
It's
cool.
appealing. If you've ever played Skyrim, actually, I don't like people comparing it to Breath of the Wild that much because I think it's a very different game from Breath of the Wild. Sure. I don't think it's better or worse. I think they're very totally different. But I could see, as far as there's this feeling you get when you play Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or this game now of discovery and exploration, where you didn't even know something was possible or that something could exist, and it's like very surprising. You're just wandering around and you just find some, obscure cave or just a hole in the wall thing, and it just leads you into like this whole thing that could be like its own multiplayer game or a single player game, where it's like this whole dungeon's down here. Like, just you would never have found it. It might not even be part of the main storyline or whatever, but it's just something, some moment where you just find some discovery and it just keeps going on forever.
That's really
And so
cool.
I think it really captures that kind of sense of wonder and discovery that is really why I want to play games in the first place. And the last thing is like with the difficulty debate, part of the reason I, again, don't really tend to like some of the harder games, and it's not really, I'm not saying this is like a dig on From Software in this particular instance, but a lot of harder games, like I don't have as much time now to be able to like play games. So when I do play, it's not fun for me to have to fight the same boss for like
That's what I meant earlier. Yeah,
4
I feel the
hours,
same.
right? Because
Yeah.
then I just haven't gone anywhere. I don't have that much time. And so I do like when games respect my time more and give me other things to do or other options. That's why I like Final Fantasy a lot, to be honest, is because there's just so much to do, so much content. I can craft, or I can go exploring, or I can do whatever. And that's what I feel like Elden Ring is compared to maybe the other Dark Souls games, because if I get stuck or something, I'll just go somewhere else. The map is huge. It's like literally gigantic. So I'll just go over here and explore over here, do something, and then come back. By the time I come back, it's like a lot easier. And now I can defeat that thing that I couldn't defeat before. But it's so big that it just gives you that feeling like you're not wasting time, because it's just fun to explore. The exploration is just fun in itself. Well, that was my long rant. What other questions do you have?
I have a question, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kayla.
No, I was just adding commentary. I was just saying I think that's a really good perspective. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like I want to actually try it now. There's more to do than just get my butt kicked.
That's coming from someone who is literally like, I used to just, bash these games, even up until the release of this. I think that if you like, and like Kayla was saying before, though, not every game is for everyone. That's fine. And I agree with that. But I think that there's something special about this. Even with some of the jank and some of the criticisms that I have, I can start to see, and I haven't beat it, obviously, so I'm not going to review a game that I haven't beat, but I could see how some of these people gave this a 10, even kind of overlooking some things that maybe with other games you would hold them more accountable. I kind of get it with this, I guess. And I think there's something special with this. And it only happens, rarely in this modern time. It used to happen more back in the day, but like a Super Mario 64 moment when a game comes out and it kind of redefines. I think Breath of the Wild was like that too. Skyrim was like that. Portal was like that. These certain games that they come out and it's going to have a lasting impact on other developers and other games that are coming out in the pipeline. So this just came out. You're going to start to see influences, 4 or 5 years from now, where people are picking up what makes this game fun and breaking that down, especially like now that it's got the 10 out of 10s, all the boardrooms and every game company right now, all the people in suits are like, make me one of these kind of games,
Yeah.
So I think that even though you're saying like, well, I don't know, I'm on the fence, especially for you guys, I would recommend, you're like gaming influencers, but I would say give it a fair shake like I did, because I think that there's something special about it where you're going to start to see the impact of that, in future games, because I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I did not expect them to do so well with some of the, and you could say, even though I don't like to compare it to Breath of the Wild, you could say they were probably heavily influenced on trying to capture some of that discovery, because it really is like everything you go around, every hill or every thing, you see something, you get distracted. You're like, oh, I'm going to go over here and do this. But then you're like, oh, no, I'm going to do this now. And then you're like, oh, no, I'm going to go over here and do this. And it just keeps going. And I love exploring in games. And usually I just kind of run through everything as fast as possible to see what I'm at. And then I go backwards. But this is really a huge world. It's huge. And I haven't even, I'm 20 something hours in. I haven't even got close to even just going around the whole map yet.
Yeah.
And that's with me flying around everywhere, just running around.
Some of the things that I really liked that you said that made me kind of like that, are, well, first of all, I didn't actually play Breath of the Wild. I know that like that's like on the top list of me to play.
Yeah, you can play that too.
So that's on the top of my list to play on my Switch for sure. But I did play a lot of Skyrim back in the day, and I really enjoyed Skyrim. So you making these comparisons make me think
quick story
a little bit.
about Skyrim. This is a funny context for you for Skyrim. Skyrim's also, I think it's it gets a lot of hate because people meme it because it comes out on like everything. But it is again like it's
it
one
is
of these.
What it is, yeah.
It's one of these games that impacted gaming, right? And it's a little bit older now, and of course, Bethesda games are also very janky. So maybe you just got to make a janky game every now and then.
Yeah.
Let it go,
and then just tune it every once in a while.
I mean, it's super janky, but there's something incredible about Skyrim, where I have I think 400 hours on the PS3 version, and then I got on PC and I put like another 200. So Skyrim's probably one of the games I've actually played the most, and I'll be honest, I've never made it past the first story mission on it. I got the first dragon roar, and then I never did any main quest on it. I never beat it, never even come close, because there's just so much other things you can do. Kind of like we were talking about Horizon. Some of the side quests are like entire games themselves. Like when you do the Assassin's Guild or the Thieves Guild, those are like games in themselves. The Thieves Guild storyline is a game in itself. The Assassin's Guild storyline is a game in itself. And that's all I did. I just did all that stuff. I go around. But I remember there's a super memorable moment, and I still remember to this day, where I'm just exploring in Skyrim, running around, and I find this it's just in the middle of nowhere. I'm just wherever. I find this little cave. I go in this little cave, just expecting, some mummies or whatever. I'm going in, and it's getting crazier and weirder. And it starts getting kind of crazy. And by the end, there's like a little boss, and I beat the boss. I'm like, okay, that was kind of a weird cave. But I go out, and all of a sudden I exit on this plateau that's overlooking like this beautiful overlook, and that plateau I guess exists. You could probably see it from somewhere else, but I didn't know it existed. And there's this like golden sword, like the master sword is like waiting for me, and I pick it up, and it's like this very specific like sword, and you can find books in the world, and sometimes there's like legends about it. I just like randomly found this like legendary item, and it's just so cool. And Elden Ring is like a ton of those back to back, basically, because you can just find these cool items or cool armor that seem like they're like maybe from way different part of the game, but it's like, well, whatever, I'm just going to use it now, like who cares. And so I think there's something special about it, even though I hate on Souls games a lot, and even though this is basically just Dark Souls 4, it's like honestly it's the same thing. A lot of things that I criticize about the Dark Souls games are in this game too, but there's just something about recontextualizing that into a more accessible and open environment that makes such a huge difference, and I think it's going to have a lasting impact on the industry.
Nice. That's good perspective for sure. Because what you said, I thought was really good too. How like even though there's not necessarily like difficulty modes, still there is like it is almost like customizable, like you said,
yes,
which I think is pretty cool.
Very customizable.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot on social media about like you said, like the kind of the toxic like gatekeeping of like, well, you just shouldn't play it if you can't handle it, like that sort of thing. And I think that's
it's very common. And I'm not going to generalize, say every FromSoft fan is like that, but a lot of different gaming communities have their kind of thing that is kind of awkward or toxic, and that's definitely one of them with these.
I think most communities have something, and that's not everyone, like you said, is like that. But I did see a lot of that, and I was like, well, that's not really fair, especially for accessibility reasons as well. And honestly, that was kind of me. It kind of turned me off to think, because I literally just heard about how hard they all are. But hearing you talk about it that way is actually really cool. So I might have to pick it back up.
It's still kind of strange to me, though. I've got to admit, it's still a little bit weird. It's like that Sonic Adventure camera thing, because they used to be kind of a mid-tier studio with like a lower budget, and now you've given them all this money, this big budget, and they intentionally keep some of the stuff in that is kind of dated just because people expect it of them. And I guess, you got to play to your fans a little, but it's a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
It is weird,
but it is good. It's undeniably good. I can't fake it. I can't pretend to hate it. It's a good game.
You've been transformed. Wow.
Yeah. It's caused a lot of self-reflection,
Yeah. A couple of quick comments before we wrap up. Lee from Lunch said, I'm just playing this game as a farmer and the harvest is plentiful.
Yeah, so late from lunch, that's the other thing, multiplayer. I didn't even talk about that. It's janky, let me tell you. But we've been playing some multiplayer. You can have up to 3 people at a time. And so that's nice too, because if there is, I'm not maybe the best Souls-like player or whatever, I did beat a boss on my own just to try to get that experience, and I'm glad I did. But the next boss, I had friends with me to help, and that's fun, because then it's not as much pressure, and you're not getting as frustrated, and it's fun to accomplish. It's like a Destiny raid or something, it's fun to accomplish something together. But yeah, Late from Lunch plays it maybe even more psychotic than how I play it, and they'll just stand in one spot, to level up forever or whatever, or even, some enemies drop a certain item, and so he was saying he was, fighting the same enemy like 200 times or something to try to get that one item or something like that.
Oh my!
That's cool. You can do that, but
Yeah, that's dedication.
Definitely farm mode.
And Oric Windstar said it's the first FromSoft game you could play as a pacifist.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, like I said, Indiana Jones. I just got a whip too. I think I'm just going to try to whip people and be Indiana Jones.
That's really funny. Okay.
Yeah,
well, cool.
I'm definitely gonna get to it. My rule is I have to beat Horizon before I download Elden Ring, so I'm gonna do that. But when any game, I don't care what I know about it or what people feel about a certain game developer, if it gets that kind of score, I have to play it. I gotta see what the big deal is about. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
It's a unique experience.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what mine's about. I think everyone has had a different kind of take on it, like how they play it. So that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Josh. I think this was a great episode. Definitely a different one for us having you on. Normally, we don't have too many hot takes with you on normally. Well, sometimes. But this one was
you had
really
me on
cool.
for Nintendo stuff, but I'm like one of those FromSoft fans, but just with Nintendo. You have to have like a disclaimer on almost, because I'm just gonna say everything's fine. Oh, this is fine. People are trashing on it for no reason. That's how I talk about Nintendo. But it's I've 2022. You learn new things about yourself.
Hey, you do. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your full thoughts. We hope to see you guys next time. I think that's going to be all for us today, folks. Sorry for the derpiness in the beginning.
Dang, yeah. It's just, it's past my bedtime, so.
Granny's got to go. I'm just kidding. All right, bye, guys. See you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.